I've been going to physical therapy recently because I had some struggles with walking and back pain, and it was just something where we weren't sure what was going on. I went and got imaging. There was no visible like damage to my spine, other than some slight osteoarthritis at L5S1. So we thought maybe that could be causing it. We're like, let's go to PT, see what they say. PT said, well, you got some slight scoliosis from the X-ray. And I was like, well, okay, cool. We can maybe work on that, but let's work on the pain. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. Explain your pain. And I was like, I've got pain in my back. It radiates down my leg. I have a hard time moving my right and left leg sometimes. It hurts more on the right side. It's harder to move the right side, and I got pain in my hips and all sorts of stuff. So the physical therapist was like, all right, cool. We're gonna do some tests. What are the tests? It was like kick strength and push back strength. They're like, yeah, you're really weak on that. And I was like, okay, interesting. So he had me try a few different things. The first day, it was probably about a 20-minute sesh, and it wasn't bad. I left feeling better and just tried the things. One of the things he had me do was lay on my back in a certain position, or on my side in a position where like my back was twisted to one side. And I was like, oh, okay. This feels weird, but it feels good. So I continued doing it, and he was like, cool, keep it up. Keep it up. So I did that, and I laid in that position a lot. Then the second week we did more. We did some like rehab exercises. We did like the Cobra thing. And the third week we did more of the same with a little bit of like strengthening. And next week's my fourth week. And he said next week's going to be a little bit longer because we're going to be going through some functional stuff. We're going to be going through seeing like bending, twisting, squatting, stuff like that. Now I don't have much pain when I squat with no weight. But we're gonna see what happens like with weight, and stuff like that because like I'd like to be able to try to do stuff like that, especially because I feel like strengthening my back and core is probably going to be a really good thing long term for me. I'm really grateful that I got to go to the physical therapist. I think the physical therapist is awesome. He's really cool. And he explained what was going on. So what he said was I probably had like a slight bulge, almost herniation at L5S1 that was like compressing and getting rid of the space in the um, in the disc, or not in the disc, in the intervertebral column. And he was like, "This is probably causing some nerve pain because it where you're having the pain and where you're having the issues, it's where those nerves go." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for explaining that. And here's what we're gonna do. Do this 3 or 4 times a day." I was like, "All right, cool. I can do that. If it hurts too much, I'll stop." He said that, and he said, and he had me do an exercise once, and I was like, "This kind of hurts." He said, "Okay, well, this is kind of a test to see what happened." He was like, "I think I have an idea. Let's try something." So he wanted me to do 20 or something. I couldn't do it. I got through about seven. And I was like, yeah, this hurts too much. He's like, okay, let's try something. He adjusted it. We tried something else, and it felt really good. And I was like, so happy. He's a super good physical therapist. Thankfully, the good thing is I don't necessarily need heat before moving into exercise, which is really good for me because that means that we can go right in. And I'm warmed up when I get there because I take the bus. So I have about a 7, 8 minute walk. So I've warmed up by the time I've gotten there. But like if I needed to warm up, but I've been walking with a cane recently, and he asked me to walk around without it. I said, okay, I'll try. I got probably about 250, 300 feet, and I was like, yeah, this feels pretty good. And then I went back and I wanted it. So I'm not trying to get rid of it as much, as quickly as possible, but it's going to be there. I'm going to keep it as a just in case thing, especially because I've had back pain my whole life and things can flare up. But now that I know about the physical therapy and the stuff that we were doing, I think I can do it for myself in the future. But all this is to say, I am super grateful that my doctor sent me to physical therapy. When I go back to see the orthopedic surgeon on the 23rd, we'll have to see some more information about it, but I don't know. But I'm super happy. I do want like an MRI of it just to check, but I don't know if the insurance company will pay for that, and if they won't, that's okay.
And again, thank you for tuning into the videos. Don't forget that you can also see me on Patreon at Sammy5436, where it's $1 a month. I also am seeable on Instagram at Sammy5436. TikTok at Sammy5436. I'm on Blue Sky at Sammy5436, though I don't use that often. I believe I'm on Tumblr at Sammy5436, but I haven't used that in at least a year. And you can find me at my business email, thetrapezoidtalks5436 at gmail.com. Any information you need to send to those business emails will be looked at. I generally look at my business email on Wednesdays and Sundays, so just do be advised that I do not always have the ability to respond immediately. But if you do send a email to my business email, and as long as it's not offensive, I will respond if it's something I'm interested in with something positive, and if it's something I'm not interested in, I will thank you for your email and go ahead and say that there may be a future opportunity for us to collaborate if that's something you're interested in.